BL1BJW. BJW. M0.
This is Mike Zero Alpha Uniform Golf, calling all members and friends of Pennine Hum for Thursday evening digital net. Good evening, everybody, and we seem to have a good few on this evening, or few who are still connected and have been connected for a day or two, so we'll take you from there. The list is bigger than my screen at the moment. Okay, we'll start off at the top of the list. G0TVB, Paul, you've got two connections going on at the moment. Are you joining the net this evening, or just listening there, Paul? Over to you.
M0ROL.
Nothing else from Paul. Next on the list, good evening to you, Jim. G4JBA. Are you joining the net or just listening today, Jim? Nothing else from Jim. G6LUU in the group. Are you joining the net this evening, Alan? M0AUG. From CRM, Chris from down in Thornton. Are you joining us this evening, Chris? Yes, from Chris. We'll see where we go next time around. Okay, on to Northern Germany now. DL1 BJW with DL8 BDT. Good evening to you, Mike and Alexander. M0AG.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Charlie Whiskey. Very good evening to all. Hope everybody is well and okay. WX here today is very cold outside. Has been only, I think, 5 degrees or even less at noontime. And now it's gone down again to 3, and perhaps there will be some freezing overnight. It's winter time. But okay, that's okay as long as it's not raining, and it hasn't been raining for the past 3 days now. So that's a good news. But on the other hand, the clouds are hanging real low, so it's kind of high fog outside. The sun has got no chance to come through in so-called daylight. Let's wait and see when the WX will change a little bit to the better. Yeah, otherwise, nothing much to report here on our side. Some things radio-wise in the next over, I think. We have been listening to the Zoom talk yesterday, and it was very interesting. When I say we, I have to correct it. I've been listening to most of it, and Adriana came back from her meeting from the city center there later, and was also listening and watching the last quarter of the meeting. I think it was very interesting. I think it's something to look into. Sorry, I knew TX Factor only as a headline. I haven't looked into it until now, but I've seen that they are doing some very interesting themes there, subjects there, and I will look into it, especially in the series where it's going about Q100. This interests me hugely, and I'm looking forward to watching this program from the X Factor very soon. So much from my side. Passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Very good evening to all of you. Very good to be in this net this evening. Yes, unfortunately, yesterday I couldn't listen to all of the talk. Would be quite interesting. What I have seen in the last quarter was quite interesting, and I think we'll look some videos of TX Factor up there. Might be good fun and very interesting. So yes, yesterday in the evening when I went to the meeting and came from the meeting, the city center was in Christmas mood. All the lights there in the streets was quite beautiful, and yes, yesterday it has been quite dry in the evening, but very cold. But now it has just begun to rain a little bit. So let's wait and see what will come. I hand the microphone back to M0AUG.
BBC with DL1BJW, and thanks to you both. I'm pleased that you enjoyed the evening last night, Mike, and you had Jennifer, what you managed to see. I think if you go onto the TX Factor website, you'll probably be able to go back and look at all of the 31 episodes that they put out over the period. I think they're probably all on their website. I couldn't guarantee that without checking myself, but some very nice productions they've done over the season since we got started there. Right, who's next on the list? I'm just going to ask if anybody's listening through GB7HX who wants to actually join in the meeting, or whether they just want to listen through the repeater. Anybody wanting to join through GB7HX, please come now. Nothing heard. Next on the list, we're going down to mine now, and I hope everything's been all right with your organisation with the Victoria Fair there, Andrew. M0ROL in the group, M0AUG.
Yeah, M0AUG in the group, M0ROL. Yes, good evening, Jeff, and good evening everyone else on the deck tonight. Well, yes, the Victorian evening did go well. The weather was good. We had quite a good turnout. The lights came on, and the bacon rolls that the organisers supplied us went down extremely well. So yes, quite a good evening. Radios were put into good use. Most of the marshals didn't have to use them, which was quite good. But yeah, it was all right. And apologies for being off the net for quite some while. It's been quite a hectic run up for the last few weeks. But hopefully back online, using a different radio, using a different hotspot. Thanks to Dave getting me a new Pi Zero, the latest version, which seems to be blazingly quick. So more about that a bit later. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, M0ROL.
M0ROL in the group, M0AUG returning. Yes, I know you've been busy in the last few weeks, Andrew, and glad to have you back on again. And Dave came on last week with his new 7100, and the audio is very good from down there. I think he's quite pleased with it, actually. A good radio as well, a good radio. Right, moving up to West Yorkshire now, what's it going for? G6MJQ in the group, M0AG. Good evening, Eddie. 0AUG, G6MJQ. Hi, Jeff. Good evening, everybody. Well, this last week, because we had family staying with us for the week, and guess what? They left us with a gift of colds, bad colds each. So I've been struggling this week. I didn't think I'd be on this net because of a chest infection, but I'm here for a bit anyway. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, 6 degrees, wet here, and it's very strange because the atmospheric pressure is around 1,050 millibars. It's quite high. And so why is it wet and misty? Maybe Peter later down the list can enlighten us on that. And so, yeah, we had a quick supper tonight. Kashmiri butter chicken pizza. That's a new one for us. I don't know where my wife Sylvia got that one from, but it was quite delicious. And the spices and garlic are good for colds. So, yeah, we should be on the mend a bit quicker after that. Back to you, Jeff. M0AUG, G6MJQ. JQ in the group M0AUG turning. Yeah, fine with that. I know you said at the beginning of the week you got a bad cold and the family had left you. It's a bit inconsiderate of your family to do that for you. You'll be soon recover anyway. Over to you there, Nick, G4IWO in the group M0AUG, and also good evening to anybody on the YouTube channel.
Yes, M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yes, good evening, Jeff, and everyone else on the net this evening. And of course, good evening to those watching us live on YouTube tonight. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to add any comments in the chat. And just a couple of comments really to start off from last night. I very much enjoyed Bob and Nick's contribution. I thought it was very interesting, very informative, and very enjoyable, and looking forward to watching more TX Factor productions when they get them out, I presume now in the new year. So that is something definitely worth looking forward to, and it's a very good initiative by a couple of amateurs, and well, 3 of them, and of course supported now by the RSGB. And temperature here, WX here today, we're up at just short of 6 degrees. We have been around about 4 degrees most of the day, but I see the weather forecast is showing that the temperatures here are going to increase at the weekend, but then the chance of rain is going to increase as well. Very dry at the moment, but warmer weather up to 11 or 12 degrees. And some rain as well at the weekend. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
IWO in the group M0AUG turning. Yes, it was a very good evening last night, and they do put a good show together, Bob and Nick there, and they're professional at what they do, and I've enjoyed watching them virtually right from episode 1. So if anybody hasn't done so, go on to the TX Factor website and enjoy all the ones that you're able to get from there, particularly the Q100 episodes and things, which are some of the more recent ones. Right, over to the US now and our friend Bob. November 4 X-ray Alpha Tanker in the group, M0AUG.
When you change the group, November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango, I lost my power, but it has come back. So if I suddenly drop out, that's what happened again. Right now it is 3 degrees Celsius here, and very, very windy. So I wouldn't be surprised if I do lose power again. But at any rate, I certainly enjoyed last night's episode. It was very interesting. I download all of them. I have all 31 downloaded so that when I was traveling, I could watch almost every episode, I have found something within the episode to be interesting and well worth watching. So I was very happy last night, and as I think Nick pointed out, that thing of the bloopers that they gave to Nick. I really enjoyed that, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to piece the two pieces together that Nick, where he broke it in the middle. I'm going to try to piece that together and make it a full episode again out of that, so that it could be another project to work on. I have cut back a bit on radio, but I'm still doing my parts on the air, and I'll give you a rundown on the next go around. Back to you. Jeff, 0 AUG with the group, November 4, XLX Tango.
Before XLX Tango in the group M0 AUG returning. Yes, fine, I'm up, Bob, and we look forward to hearing the next bit. And right over to Peter now in Staler Bridge, who can also give us an update on the weather from what Eddie was saying. M0 PBF in the group, M0 AUG. Good evening, Peter. Nothing else from Peter there, but thank you for the text, Nate, advising me that Jim JBA is actually on the YouTube channel listening to us tonight. So, try again for Peter. M0 PBF in the group, M0 AUG. That's from Peter, so we'll try again later on. On to Belgium there, and off to November 8 November Tango in the group, M0 AUG. Good evening, Jeff.
Mike 0 AUG, the group for 8 November Tango. A very good day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, and also my best greetings to everyone on the YouTube channel. I hope everything is well. We have about 4 degrees Celsius. It was dry, no wind today. We are even expecting some sun tomorrow. Wait and see if that will happen. But anyway, the Zoom session, excellent. Yeah, really, really like that. Professional guys. They really know what they are doing, I think, and they really know how to present things. So that was a very, very well prepared show. I have the impression they really prepared that. Was going to say what and so on, but that's brilliant, really. And I know the X Factor since I visited the Fair in Newark in 2016, because I met Bob in person. I had a chat with him about that, and he gave me a leaflet about it. So since then, I have been looking to the X Factor, and I really enjoyed that. Just like Bob said, there's always something you can get out of it. So I really like it. I changed the frequency on my hotspot and the frequency on my transceiver 1 megahertz higher in the 70 centimeter band, because I had a kind of a pulse on my previous frequency. So I want to get away of that. So I'm just testing this now to see how it is performing, and up till now it seems okay. So back to you, Jeff. Mike 0 AUG, the group for 8 November Tango.
8 November Tango in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yeah, thanks for that, Jeff. Everything's fine on the transmission tonight. Before I go down the list again, I'll just give Peter one more shout. M0 PBF in the group, M0 AUG. Yeah, from Peter. He just passed off some gremlins at that huge age. We'll see how we go on later on. Okay, down to you there, Lou. GAKJJ in the group, M0 AUG. Good evening.
GAKJJ. Yeah, very good evening to everyone. and I've got nothing really to report. The weather is damp and cold, not very pleasant at all. I've been monitoring 40 meters, and earlier it was fairly quiet, but it seems to be getting a little bit more active. And I've not spent much time on the higher bands. It's been pretty average, I think. Anyway, I'll pass it back to you, Jeff, and see what else other people have got to say. JJ, bye.
JJ, M08 U-turn. Yes, fine on that, and yeah, Ken, one of our committee members, is obviously down in Alicante at the moment, working from his trolley by the side of the salt pan there, and giving us reports as to how he's going on at various stages. So that's surprising where Ken can get to on that, and for those who've heard him and worked him at sort of health. Right, over to Denmark now to Fraser. Oscar Zulu 1, Julia uniform, M0AG. Thursday 1 JKU to the group. Good evening to everybody, and good afternoon, Bob, and hopefully the power doesn't go off again. Anyway, I missed the Zoom meeting, unfortunately, due to I was committed elsewhere, and I couldn't get on board at the time. Had some friends around here, and they didn't leave at the time that I thought they were going to leave, so I was unable to attend that, which is a pity, but I can probably catch it up on YouTube later. WX here, well, very much like everybody else. No wind, no sun, so our electricity has gone through the roof, because we do most of our electricity with solar and wind. So this evening, 1 kilowatt of electricity at 5 o'clock to 7 costs £1.18 per kilowatt. That's inclusive of all the network tariffs and everything else, which is equates to about €143, I think, something like that. Anyway, so pretty expensive. It's now dropped a bit, but it's still over £1 per kilowatt. So we didn't do any cooking in the oven today. We did it on the gas side. So we've got a gas top and an oven, an electric oven. My DX Commander, well, that's still lying sort of on its supports, ready to have the aerials threaded up it. But the weather's been so miserable here. It's been wet, it's been drizzling, it's just horrible. If I stood out on the grass, I'd have wet feet in 5 minutes. I would need Wellington boots on to keep the feet dry. They would then get cold, of course. So nothing really much progressed. It's smooth burning stove, which I can see through the door. I can feel the radiant from that. So that's my lot. Other than that, there's really nothing I asked to report, which is a bit of a shame. No, not much radio, very little indeed, in terms of 40 meters, 10 meters, or whatever. I really haven't been very active. Back to you, Jeff. How's everyone JKU? One JKU here in the group M08 returning. Yeah, fine enough, Fraser. Glad you were able to join us. And, I'm sure you'll enjoy last night's Zoom meeting when you can pick it up on YouTube. I think it went down very, very well with the audience who were on last night. But I thought the comments coming through so far. Right, over to John now. Yeah, GSO in the group. M0AG. Good evening, John.
M0AUG in the group, G3FAO returning. Very good evening, Jeff, and everybody. Yes, it's been a rather miserable day here as well. I believe the temperature has been about 7 degrees at its maximum. And our local weather forecaster described it as high-pressure gloom, if that makes any sense to everybody. But yes, there has been quite a lot of low cloud and so on. I was very interested to read on the WhatsApp group about Ken's pedestrian mobile, and also the activity on 10 and 15 meters. Found that interesting. I didn't see the meeting last night because it coincides with our local net, the Oldham Radio Club. So I usually pick up those on the YouTube channel. If there's I'm interested in that, I'll have a look at it later. So I can't comment on that. Activity has been very brief here this week. We've been very busy with other things. But I did manage a couple of short sessions and with my QRP, which I'm still really interested in. I've been on 17 meters this week, 18 megahertz, and worked on the two interesting stations. 4Y1A was an interesting one. Never seen that before. International Civil Aviation Authority, a UN organization. And it was operated by the 4U1A group, I think, from Vienna. Also got my QRP across to Newfoundland on 17. And one for you here, Jeff, a portable station in Brazil, which was Papa Tango 2 Alpha Alpha Portable, which turned out to be the National Radio Society of Brazil, I think. And it's their 90th centenary. So that's what I've been up to. M0 AUG on the group, G3 SAO.
They're in the group M0 AUG. Yes, I know that, John. And particularly portable station down in Brazil. Yeah, that's mentioned for those who don't know. But when I used to be in the Oldham Club, and we used to work in the shack on Thursday evenings. We invariably finished up at some stage during the evening working in Brazil, and that's where that comes from. Everybody used to come past the shack door and see me, but they had said, "Oh, Brazil again, is it?" So that's how long. So thanks for that, John. Over to the borders now, and Keith. The GM4JK is not in the group. M0 AUG.
M0 AUG in the group GM4JK. Good evening, Jeff and one and all. And Jim, who's listening on YouTube. Good evening to you also. CX Factor was brilliant, I thought, last night. And one thought I had was that they should put bloopers on an annual basis. That would be fun. But I suppose it would take too long to modify and link together. Temperature up here, well, when I started at 7:30, it was 0.3 degrees. It's now 1.4 and climbing, so that's not too bad. It's been clear today, no rain. Saw the sun on and off briefly, but was still quite cold. The other half took the two dogs out for a long walk on one of the parks, and I did a sensible thing, I think, to stay in, did some painting, and get myself warm. Radio-wise, not a great deal. Dear Commander, I did put it back up. It's been down since last Thursday because of the storm, so I put it back up just before midday yesterday to have a listen around for our friends in South Africa. But could detect some audio, but was not very intelligible. And then, of course, we had a great big Russian station popping on the frequency in the platter. So, but apart from that, worked a few stations on FT8 just to make sure things are okay. And I've still not constructed the new elements for the Dears Commander. I've got all the kits that arrived last week, but other things have slowed me down. I need to get out into the garden to measure the wire down the path to make it easy for myself, basically. But I did notice on 20 meters the SWR was about 1.9 to 1. Normally it's about 1.2. So obviously the old wire does definitely need changing. Well, with that, back to you there, Jeff. M0 AUG in the group from TM4JKZ.
The group M0 AUG setting. It's fine and all that, Keith. And I noticed just after you, there's a repeater from Hexham was linked into it. So is anybody here wanting to join the net from the Hexham repeater, please? Nothing heard. Jeff, I'm going to have to take a break for about 5 minutes. Oscar November 8, November Tango. Can you continue with the net, please? The next online is Mike and Adriano. Over to you.
Okay, Jeff, no problem. Let's give the microphone to Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey and ELA DDT. For the group, go ahead, Mike and Adriana.
Thank you. Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Yes. Radio-wise, the week was not very eventful. Yeah, I noticed that as well as CW, as also in FT8, in the early evening, late afternoon, there are quite a few possibilities here, especially on FT8. I worked several times into VK and also into Charlie Echo and Lima Uniform. Lima Uniform also in CW. So it seems to be quite a good time. I was a little bit astonished about VK in the early evening, but there seems to be some movement, so to speak, in the conditions there. I tried a little bit doing with QRP or low power anyway, and in CW I had some contacts with 10 watts into in the US and into Canada. That was rewarding, but I had difficulties this time to reach these stations with only 5 watts. I have done this before, but nowadays conditions, especially locally, seem to be not so favorable. On the other hand, I tried a little bit with very low power in FT8, that is to say with 500 milliwatts or half a watt, and I had a contact with NE9U, which is an FT8 station from near Minneapolis or northwest of Chicago, which is quite a distance from my QDH here. And this QSO on FT8 was really finished with 500 milliwatts, and it gave me a good feeling, HI. So I will be experimenting a little bit more with very low power, especially in the early evening, and see what this will achieve. So far from my side, passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, on my side, nothing very interesting to report. But last weekend we had been near the Short Sea, and as I mentioned yesterday in the Zoom meeting, we took Mike's Electronic AX2 with us, and there we made some contacts only with a 5 to 10 watts and an indoor whip antenna, the AX1, and this was quite well in CW, even if we had no antenna outside the room. This was quite amazing. So that's all I have to report at the moment. I have the microphone back to M0AG for the group.
Mike 0, Romeo Oscar Lima, the group of 8 November Tango. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, Oscar November Tango in the group. Mike 0, Romeo Oscar Lima. Good evening, Jeff. I had a bit of a pause. I don't know whether it was the internet or what. Yes, but anyway, on now, hopefully. Yeah, just to follow up on the WX, that it is certainly quite cold. It's about freezing, but we've got quite a breeze, which means that the wind chill is below zero, so it has been too much. It's been dry today. As probably most of you would have realised, there was a red weather warning out on Saturday, and Minehead was right in the middle of it. So we had 90-mile-an-hour winds, and it was, I suppose we're going to call it spectacular, really. Most of the beach is now on the road, although the council's been out with their diggers and trucks taking it back onto the beach. The seas were extremely rough. They were smashing over the harbour and watch it. And we had a 60-foot plus Douglas fir come down at the end of our drive, which landed on the roof of the property opposite, which wasn't very good. The road was closed. It's a cul-de-sac, and it was closed from Saturday afternoon till late Sunday afternoon. So no one could get out. So I guess late on the month, we did get a tree surging out to then cut it up on the Sunday afternoon. We burst our water mains, and we've now got a big stump with a 6-foot diameter roof ball, which I'm trying to get a local construction company to go and take it away. So all in all, quite an exciting weekend, if you like to call it exciting, but lots of damage. People still out down here. Porlock Weir for, I suppose 80, there's Porlock Weir, that's still without power. Lots of places on Exmoor still don't have telephones. And yeah, all in all, quite a feat. But there we are. We're back to normal winds now for the next week or so. Sorry, back to you, Jeff. Over the Tango to Mike 0, Roman Oscar Lima.
Okay. Mike 0, Oscar Lima, Tango, and we had some also. Probably not but we had some heavy wind and rain over the weekend, so I think that must be something which came from your part, so to say. Okie doke, 80, G6MJQ, the group. Oh, an 8 November Tango, go ahead, 80.
Oh, an 8 November Tango, G6MJQ. Wow, Andrew, that's what I call a storm down there. Can't compete with that one. Wow, and yeah, quite dramatic. I saw the photos of the beach on the seafront at Minehead, and I can imagine it was pretty bad. Sometimes we get that at Scarborough, comes up on the beach. Also at Cleethorpes, where we've got the static van, the sand got blown onto the seafront there, onto the road. Yeah, but here, nothing quite as dramatic. One of Sylvia's big ceramic pots with a conifer and flowers in blew over and smashed. So we've yet to put that right. And I think that, oh yes, and one of the illuminated Christmas penguins, a small one, blew over, but just propped it up and it's still working. No damage. So I'm afraid can't compete on the damage front there. Now, as regards jobs this week, well, a plumbing job, a slow leak under the bathroom sink, And a warning, don't try and repair Christmas lights, LED Christmas lights, outdoor lights, because they're sealed, and once one lamp goes, all three in a ring or in a row go. And I've been trying to fix them today. Just one of the strands went over the end over the front room. So I've failed. Unfortunately, I can't buy replacements right now. They're a few years old, but yeah. So don't even attempt it. And yes, I watch TX Factor. Yeah, great. You know, it's totally professional. It really is. I'm listening last night. I was. So good with my chest, etc. So yeah, but yeah, I'll watch that one. Now, 40 meters is interesting in the morning. Today I was listening from about 6 a.m. Not everybody gets up at that time, but yeah, the US coming through, and right until about 9 a.m. Just take a bit. JQ. Yeah, until about 9 a.m. and then the activity subsided. But yeah, obviously on the US side, quite powerful stations, a couple of powerful stations running multiple kilowatts. And I've noticed now a few UK stations are now owning up to running a kilowatt. And what else? Oh, yes. Yeah, 50 Ken on VCV. Ken on 15 meters, was it yesterday, the day before, in the afternoon? And yeah, I heard him coming through here fine. And I went to call him back, and I got bleed over into the headphones. So I've got that one to sort out. I thought I got rid of all the common mode current, etc. But we will see. So yeah, other activities as well. But I think that's about me done for now. Otherwise, with all I've been trying to do and all the hot drinks I've had, I'll take another over. Anyway, I wonder if Jeff's back. It's going to be Jeff, whichever one. Look, I'll try it. Oscar November 8, November Tango, Jeff, from G6MJQ.
Okay, I think Mike Zero AUG is back. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, November Tango with the group M0 AUG returning it. Thanks for looking after that, Jeff. Back in the shack now. I did listen to a little bit that was going on, but not everything. But thanks very much indeed for picking it up there, Jeff. Over to you there, Nick. G4IWO in the group. M0 AUG.
M0 AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, I'd very strongly recommend people to look out for Ken posting when he's going to be active down by the sea down there, or by the Salt Lagoon, whichever location he goes to. He's not staying out there over Christmas. He'll be back before then. But the weather is looking pretty good down there for the next week. In fact, the temperature is slowly rising till next week. I think on Tuesday, it's due to be about 23 degrees Celsius, and there's no rain forecast. So it's the rain, as everyone knows who goes portable, that creates the problem, standing out anywhere in the rain trying to operate the radio portable. So hopefully Ken will be out as much as he can be, and strongly recommend just having a look and listening and seeing if you can, and staying with him, because if he can pick you up, as people will know who've joined in with Ken when he's been operating and working DX, he's very, very keen to involve people in working those DX stations. And AD, you're 100% correct. I'm one of those daft people who wakes up early. You'll find me sometimes on 40 meters, you know, at 5:30 in the morning. and the band is open there to the US for sure. And you can make some good contacts. All depends on what the noise level, the background noise levels like at that time. But it's been pretty decent recently, and you can make some very good QSOs out into the particularly into the east and sometimes into the mid area of the US on 40 meters. So that's always good fun. I think 40 meters is one of those underrated bands, but it's certainly one that as a club we'll return to next year and run some stations on that. And for those that haven't spotted and followed the conversation between myself and Phil, G4UDU, he is going to activate MX0KSU from the Lizard over the Christmas holiday, probably on the Boxing Day. And again, he's going to post the time and frequency of his operation there. So should be good to try and work Phil using the club call down from the Lizard, the far westernmost point of the country. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
Group M0 AUG returning. Yes, fine on that. And I'm not quite an early riser like you guys are these days. I used to many years ago when I was working full time, but not so much these days. But 40 is a band that can just catch you out. You can be so surprised what you can get on there. And yes, I'll endorse what you were saying about if you hear Ken on the bands, give him a shout. Well, you know, I've only got a very limited station here, but I've worked Ken a few times when he's been down there, and he will do a recording as well of the conversation, so you can hear your over if you like, and he'll put it on the WhatsApp group, and where you can play it back. And in fact, the other day we got a very a quick call from my point of view, not quick for Ken, speaking to Bob in the States, and Bob and I were just able to exchange a very short greeting on the conversation as well, which is absolutely incredible. So, it is Bob who's on next, if his communications are okay at the moment. November 4 XL Alpha Tango in the group, M0AEG.
Group number 4XA Alpha Tango, and I did promise that I would give you my quota status. I haven't worked as many, but of course I really can't complain. As of this morning, I had 1,648 parks, and in the last week I did work another park in France. Foxtrot 5, November Lima X-ray portable. But apparently he didn't make enough contacts to make it count as a quota. However, he sent me a QSL card, so I got a QSL card out of it. Doesn't count as a
I don't know whether you've lost power again, Bob. I'll just try it again. November 4 XL Alpha Tango, M0AEG.
Everything that looks like here, going back, I'm back. All of a sudden I disappeared there. And that's about it. Like I say, it's been cold, rainy here, and of course there aren't as many parks on the air. But you know, there are so many parks in the United States that really doesn't affect me. I think this morning I got 7 different parks. Now I can't say any of those were new parks yet because I haven't checked them out. But at any rate, 7, I can't complain. Usually I work around 20 a day. I try to make it right around 20 a day, and within that 20, I'll have a few new ones, and that's what I look for. Back to you, Jeff. Thanks for picking me up. M0AUG with the group, November 4, X-ray Alpha Tango.
Before XL Alpha Tango, M0AEG in the group returning. Yeah, fine on that, Bob, and that's a great number of parks on there, and it's a shame that the park over in France hasn't got enough people working for it to class as a quota. But obviously, you're in contact with him now through his QSL card, and no doubt you'll look out for him in the future to see if you can activate him actually as opposed to 1600 or something. It's a fantastic score there. What would you be to see if you sorted out whatever the issue was last time? M0PBF in the group, M0AUG. M0PBF. Are you going now, Jeff? Yes, no problem at all. Peter, go ahead, please.
M.
M0AUG, M0PBF. I have no idea what the problem was last time. Looking at it from this end, I was getting through, so I was talking to myself, so I don't know if it was an internet problem or what the problem was. So anyway, first of all, to answer Adrian's question as to why when we got high pressure in winter we get all this cumulus at low level and it's drizzly and foggy. It's all to do with temperature and density. The air is denser, therefore the dew point is closer to the actual temperature. Therefore, the air doesn't hold as much water. Therefore, it starts to drizzle. There we go. And it's of course in the winter we can get absolutely clear days in high pressure as well, just like we do in the summer. But at the moment, that doesn't seem to be the case. I think the high pressure area over the UK and the coast, certainly the coastal areas in Europe, is fairly stable. And I've got a pressure reading at the moment of clicking the right button of 1031, and the temperature is 6 degrees. And like I say, the outside humidity is 91%. So there we are. And what have I been doing? Well, my son-in-law is a very keen cyclist. He does what is called horizontal cycling. This sort of almost lying on your back. And each year in Battle Mountain in Nevada, they hold I guess it's a world championship, where they try to break the speed record. Last time Ruth was over there, which was 2 years ago, he managed a speed of 79 miles an hour, which is 127 kilometers. And he's going next year to try and break that. But what he wants is a means of communicating his voice and possibly data between the aerodynamic capsule I can describe it as, between himself and so we're trying to figure out a way of doing that. At the moment we're playing with PMR radios on 446 radios, the flight for free radios in the UK. But of course that one's in the US. So I've got that one to solve yet. You can probably FRF radios in the US. So that's, we've got the PMR radio. The problem being, of course, is the capsule he's in is made of carbon fiber. And the question is, does it form a Faraday cage? So no radio frequency would actually get out. Question mark. M0 UG, M0 PBS.
It's absolutely perfect. It's your problem. It's just incredible to know the knowledge that you've stored over the years, and we all find it very, very interesting. Welcome now, and thanks again for taking the net over earlier on there, Jeff. Oscar November 8, November Tango, M0AEG.
M0 AUG, the group 08 November Tango. Okay, no. Yeah, okay, Peter, very interesting there about the weather and about the other stories you told there. Very entertaining, and I didn't know that about the high pressure and the weather in the winter. I learned something again this evening. Okay, no. And congrats, John, on your contacts there that you made G3 SAO. Very nice. And Bob, your Tota is doing well. First of all, I have to correct something from last week. I told about that D-Star reflector DCS 011 Quebec would be connected to QO100, which is not true. That is not true. Actually, that the DCS 100Q is a talkback channel or a talkback module to talk about the QO100 for people who are experimenting with it, but it's no a direct connection to the QO100. That would be brilliant, but it's not possible. I was scratching my hair to see how that would be possible, but anyway, no, it is not possible. Radio-wise, I have not been very, very active. I had a voluntary job. I do some voluntary work from time to time, and I was busy on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning to prepare that and to be involved into that. So that took lots of time. I managed to be there to have a contact with Ken in Spain, and yesterday to try Tom in South Africa. I heard him loud and not loud, but clear. A good copy on him, but he gave me the microphone 2 or 3 times, and I went back to him, but he could not clearly not copy me. So a pity. But anyway, I was very happy to be able to hear him. So that's part of the success, so to say. And there were, I think, 2 school contacts from the International Space Center that I followed, which were very interesting. I think always interesting to hear the astronauts or the cosmonauts, most of them are astronauts actually, answering the questions of kids. I think that's very interesting, because kids can really, or youngsters can really ask questions which we would not think about, you know. So very interesting to follow that. Okay, looking forward to the 10-meter contest over the weekend. So back to you, Jeff. Mike 0 AUG, the group 08 November Tango.
November Tango, the group 0 AUG, turning yes, final on Jeff, and it does remind me that many years ago there on the Oldham Club, when we were running one of the talking stations for the annual rally that we used to have. And Jeff GZRBJR, who's the president, was actually running the talking station from the club. And he finished up actually having a QSO with one of the space stations flying over the top there. So that was an interesting one. That goes down as part of the club history of the Oldham Radio Club. Right, over to you there, Fraser, in Denmark again, after the 1 Juliet Kilo uniform, M0 AUG.
Almost everyone, JKU. Right, yeah, well, very interesting round, and lots of people have been doing lots of things, and others haven't. As I said, I haven't very much. I'm up quite often around about 5 o'clock UK time, because it's 6 o'clock this time here. And listening to 40, my lowly aerial, and early 100 watts out of my rig is not particularly conducive to making transatlantic contact. I have made 1 or 2, but it's been very hard work for the other station. And they've been moving into me 5 and 9, and they've been giving me a sort of 5 and a 1 max, etc. Anyway. Hopefully, once this other thing that's pending and I'm getting very frustrated with, the ex-commander gets up and going, things might get a bit better. I've got one other little puzzle. I've got a soundbar which has come from my friend who's unfortunately got cancer and is on the way down. It stopped working completely. Anyway, I've got it working here, but it will only connect to anything via Bluetooth. The HDMI inputs
don't work, so I'm not sure. And there's very little information on the net, and the handbook tells you nothing as usual, and no real good YouTube videos about anything. So I'm a bit stumped on that one. I'm just thinking maybe my TV isn't compatible with it. It's an LG and it's a Samsung soundbar. But if anybody's got any ideas, would be gratefully received. Because I don't see why it shouldn't work, but it doesn't. But Bluetooth, it works perfectly. No problem at all. Okay, back to you, Jeff. M0AUG, OZ1JKU, group.
M0AG. Yeah, thanks for that. I can't hold on that connection. We had some issues in our soundbar, which I managed to sort out by shortly doing an engineer's reset, and that brought it back to life. But that was a bonnet on each system. So I don't know whether the other two systems that you mentioned are about compatibility, and not even with the HDMI there. Well, if you there, John, yeah, they are in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G3SO returning. Yes, all fine from everybody. Yes, I don't know the answer to that, I'm afraid. I don't have one. Don't have a soundbar, so I can't help with that. It's been very interesting tonight, and thank you, Peter, for all the weather physics. That's, yes, it takes me back many years when my physics teacher tried to explain it to us, but it was nowhere near as good as you. So thank you for that information. What else? Oh, yes, I was interested in Adriana's comment about I think it was the AX1 antenna. I did see that post, and that was interesting too. It's quite incredible that you don't have to put an antenna outside in order to have contact, particularly if you're using CW or digital modes. And my antenna here is up in the loft. It's in the roof space, and it's a very short, what I call a doublet antenna. I think there's a similar antenna in Radcom, which I received today, but it's called something else. But it looks just like my antenna, except mine's a lot shorter. It's said with 300 online and an ATU. And that allows me to get on all the bands I can manage to get it to radiate on, which is 30 meters, 10 megs, and the higher band. It's I've had one or two contacts on 40 meters, but it's far too short to be efficient. But it does sort of put the signal out. It's amazing where it all goes. And I sort of couple my operation with PSK reporter maps, and it's very, very, very interesting to see what's going on. I don't think I have anything else really to add tonight. In fact, I'm going to make this my last over, if you don't mind. I will be listening for some time, but I won't come back for another over, Jeff, if you want to cross me off. But as I say, I will be listening for some time to come yet. But I don't want to be transmitting after 9 o'clock, so I'll drop out at this stage. So many thanks, Jeff and Jeff, for looking after the net tonight, and I wish everybody a very good evening. And 73. M0AUG in the group, G3SAO.
Thanks for that, John. I think Jeff has an issue. Thank you very much, John, for that observations. And let's go to the borders of Scotland. Gold Mike 4 Juliet Kilo Zulu, the group of 8 November Tango. Go ahead, Keith.
All right, and now on the Jeff. And yes, what was I going to say? Oh, just listening to Andrew talking about the weather down there. I remember
and I lived in Corfe, which is 4 miles south of Cornwall. We had a few storms coming through. At 1:30 in the morning, I had to decide between, my outbuildings, my garage, which had my workshop in it, had about 15 to 18 inches of water flowing into it. And I had a caravan standing on axle stands outside, so I had to either decide whether to save the tools in the bottom drawer of my built-in workbench, or get the wheels out of the shed and put them on the caravan underwater to save the caravan from the floor from getting soaked. And I managed it by about 1.5 inches. I managed to get the caravan away and up onto high ground. But I'm glad I live halfway down a hill here now, because although we do get a few puddles in the garden, most of it just roars down the road when we have heavy rain. So I sleep well at night now. Apart from the noisy, I don't know if anybody else suffers, the flapping extractor vent when the wind really blows. We've got these triple vent covers on the outside, and I'm going to change those out to a complete cover cowling. Drives you nuts at night. Okay, 3 things coming up. I think this weekend, although we've got the 10-metre contest coming up, there's also the Bulgarian TRC Digi contest, which is a Ritchie contest from 6 o'clock Saturday morning, 6 o'clock Zulu to Sunday 1800 Zulu. I'll just mention this. Yes, may be interested in having a look at that and others. The following weekend is the OKDX Ritchie contest, which is only on Saturday, the 24 hours from 0 to 23:59. And the other thing, I was talking about Christmas, external Christmas light. I was delighted to see, I was going to take a photo of it. The Christmas lights in our nearest town, Jedburgh, they've got these very large hanging icicle lights, and the entire town is lit up with them all the way down the side. And it's quite a spectacular sight, I must admit. And Lisa, antenna-wise, the only thought I had was to see if you could fashion a stick-on antenna to go onto the canopy, a bit like the DAB aftermarket next space antennas fit on the front window of the car for those that don't have DAB vehicles. So with that, I'll take back to you then, Jeff. 8 November Tango with Group EM4JKZ.
Yeah, GM4JKZ, the Group 8 November Tango. And I think we missed. First of all, thank you very much for your dilemma there, for your information. That was a real dilemma when you had the storms there in your previous QTH feed. And thank you very much for the information about upcoming Ritchie contest. I think this weekend, on the Saturday, I'm not available actually, but on the Sunday, I think I will focus on the 10-meter ARRL contest. Unless there is no conditions there, I could probably try the Ritchie contest. And next week I will try that also, that Oscar Kilo contest. So thank you very much for that information. But I think we missed so we will give Louis the chance, first of all, to say something. With 8 Kilo Juliet, the Group 8 November Tango. Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. ON8 November Tango, GAKJJ. I've got very little else to say other than an update to my low-band antenna project. I did get the book that you suggested, the antenna notebook that you mentioned, and I'm finding that quite interesting. I'm going through it and seeing what else I might try. I have got a couple of traps that I've constructed, a 40-meter trap and also a 10-meter trap. And I might try that as well. But very interesting to look at that book, Jeff, and thanks for the information. And I think that's about it this evening. I wish everybody a very good evening, and look forward to the next one. ON8NT and the group GAKJJ.
Okay, very good, Louis. G8 Kilo Juliet Juliet, the group over 8 November Tango, QRX. Yeah, I'm on the dashboard. always some delay. Yeah, okay, I'm there. Okay, we have a very, very interesting book, and I've also liked even more because that is more fitted to my situation here at the apartment with the balcony and so on and so on. The book about steel antennas, I really like that very much. That's brilliant. But anyway, two very, very interesting books. And okay, let's go for the finals now. I'll go to Germany. Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey and Delta Lima 8 BDT. The group, go ahead, Mike and Adriana.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey for the final. Yes, first of all, Jeff, thank you very much for hosting the Net HI. Good work. And yeah, thank you for all the information all around and your company to all members there of our digital net. And yeah, it was a nice evening. One last word, Christmas is looming ahead. And yesterday we were doing some shows there in the city, and on the spur of the moment, I thought, well, we could already choose and buy the Christmas tree a little bit early this year, but we could do that and take it back in the car with us to our home. And we did so, which is always a good sign. But when we tried to fit the Christmas tree inside the car, we noticed that the tree was a little bit long for the car. Well, we managed finally, but only in Adriana had to sit behind myself, so to speak, on the left side of the car, and we wedged the tree into the right side of the car, which fortunately has a hatch door at the end. But well, it was really a question of millimeters, I think. But nevertheless, we had the tree and took it out of the car at home and set it up, and now it's standing here in the living room, already lighted and with Christmas decorations. So that was worth it, even if I had to clean the car from the needles, so which the tree lost during the drive. And this cleaning took me 30 minutes. So, well, it was an effort, but I think it was worth it. So I wish everybody good pre-Christmas time, and hope to see and hear you all well and okay next week. Until then, 73s from Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey, passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, as Mike just said, we are just goodness faster than we thought it would be. So thank you, Jeff and Jeff, for hosting the net. And Heidi, I wish you all the best. I hope the cold will pass very quickly and you will feel well soon. And yes, all the best for all of you. 73 and 88 from Northern Germany. Bye-bye. This was Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango, handing the microphone to M0AUG or to Oscar November 8 November Tango if M0AUG isn't there for the group.
DL8 Bravo Delta Tango with DL1 BJW. And Just over to you there, Jeff, just to confirm I'm getting through. I'm showing you on the dashboard.
100% copy, Jeff. Go ahead.
Thanks for that. You can't do anything. You try and work with the internet, and the internet sometimes let you down, and there we are. So thanks for coming in there to pick it up. We work well together on this. We started this project together, and it works well. We can put it when things don't quite work as they should do. Thanks to everybody so far for the contributions. Certainly to John. I think John was the last one I was trying to reply to. The internet cost at this end. And right, over to you there, Andrew, for your final, please. M0RL in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, Mike, Robbie, Oscar Lima. Thanks for running the net tonight, Jeff. It's a double act tonight. It's nice to be back on after a few weeks of absence. Dave did send an email through to me to say apologies is on the phone, but I don't know whether he's available. I think he's probably given up now, so it'll be for next week. So we're just working on trying to get some imports into his 70-100 T7 pomoders, so we'll work on it in a week. We'll keep our fingers crossed that the winds aren't going to be as strong as we had last weekend, so look forward to catching up with you next week, and good luck with the competitions at the weekend. I volunteer at the National Trust on Saturday, so I'm out of the equation for that one. So until next week, I wish everyone 73, and we'll catch up with you next week. M0AUG in the group. This is M0ROL.
0RL in the group, M0AUG. So, yeah, I've not heard anything actually from Dave. Just looking on that in case anything came through whilst, no, nothing has come through whilst the internet was having a cough. So thanks for joining the net this evening, Andrew, and look forward to catching up with you again. Over to you for your final daily. G6 MJQ in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG, G6MJQ. Firstly, thanks for your good wishes, Adriana. And yes, Peter, you won't do very well with a fiberglass body around the radio. You need to get, as somebody said, almost on the perspex cover, a stick-on antenna on the inside or something, or a small antenna on the outside, suitably airlined, I guess. Yeah, anyway, something to think about, Peter. And that's one reason why with vertical antennas, I made a put-away vertical on 40 and put the wire at the inside of the pole. And for aerials like that, you always use fiberglass. DX Commander is fiberglass, if I'm right. Well, he should be, and I'm sure he's got it right there. So, yeah, antennas definitely fiberglass. So keep away from the carbon fibre if you want to do any good with RF. Right, 7-3s, everybody. Have a great week. And time for another hot drink and what have you. Try and clear this chest again and get some sleep, hopefully. Yeah, and I think I'm suffering from brain fog as well. Lack of sleep. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Jeff and Jess. The dynamic duo, yes. Thanks, guys, and enjoyed it tonight. Glad I made it. Back to you, M0AUG, JQ. 7-3, all have a great week.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie, and hope you're well enough to be able to join the all and that on Sunday morning. Thanks for joining this evening. Right, we'll bypass Nick at this stage and go straight back over to Bob. But then before X-Rail for Tango in the group, then, so now AUG for your final, Bob, please.
UG with the group number 4 X-ray Alpha Tango. First of all, Fraser, I know that you're much more advanced than I am with TV, but the first thing that I would do is check out the HDMI cable, try another cable. Originally, when the HDMI cables were made, they were made without audio in them. And it's possibly that you have one with audio in it, but the audio section has broken off or something. So the first thing, if you haven't already done, I would try another HDMI cable. And second, of course, thank you for Jeff. And Jeff, for running the net, I look forward to it every week.
N4XAT.
For Excel for Tango in the group M0AU. So yes, fine on that, Bob, but glad to have you as part of the net as always this evening as well, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And thanks for your contribution, and we'll catch up with you next week. Over to you for your final update, please. M0 PBF in the group, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG, M0 PBF. Yes, the problem is the carbon fiber shell, but unfortunately for safety reasons, it's got to be carbon fiber. This is a man-made an egg shape, or not quite a more aerodynamic egg shape, hoping to travel at over 80 miles an hour. It's an interesting problem that we have tools by next September, well, actually September 2025, I think. But if anybody knows of a US spec FRF radio that has a detachable aerial, I'd love to know because I can't find one. So anyway, thank you to Jeff, both Jeff, for running the net tonight. Thank you for your company, gentlemen. A very enjoyable net. So, 73 to all, and back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG, M0 PBF.
0 PBF in the group M0 AUG returning. When you give thanks to gentlemen, I know you included Adrian in that, not if not myself somewhere. So thank you for that, Peter. Right, over to you for your final, Jeff. Thanks once again. Off to November 8th, November Tango. And after you, I'll put Fraser on for finals, followed by Keith, and then we'll bring Nick on as usual to bring it all up to date for the evening there. Over to you there, Jeff. Oscar November 8th, November Tango in the group, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG, the group, 08 November Tango, and just looking to the dashboard if I will cover. Okido. Yeah, I'm there. Okay, well, first of all, Peter, I've seen a video on YouTube by Kilo Mike 4 Alpha Charlie Kilo. The Kilo Mike 4 Alpha Charlie Kilo, if you put that into YouTube, you will find that it was one of his last videos he posted about GMRS, this typical American system there. And I think he demonstrated a portable transceiver with a detachable antenna, if I remember well. So this is, or you can mail him. You can mail him and try to ask his advice. So he could probably be able to help you out. Okido, and Eddie, G6 MJQ, all the best with your health issues there. I hope everything will develop in the right direction. And just like Keith, after Keith, I will have a picture from the pier and one of our seaside resorts here, where I grew up as a young guy, which is called Blankenberg, just near to Zeebrugge, between Zeebrugge and Ostend. This is the place where I grew up, and they had a beautiful pier, so you will get a picture of that. I would say 73s, all the best to everyone. Hope to catch you next week. Mike 0 AUG, the group, 08 November Tango.
Number Tango in the group, 080 return. Thanks for that, Jeff. And, we'll catch up towards the end there. Over to you, Fraser, for your final Oscar Romeo 1 Juliet Kilo uniform. Mike 0 Alpha Uniform Golf.
From everyone, JKU. Yeah. Mike and Adriana, I hope you haven't got any cats, because trees and cats and lights sort of a bit of a disaster, aren't they? Hopefully not, anyway. Well, thanks for that. Yes, I have tried a new lead, and it's still the same. So I'm a bit stumped, and there seems to be no information on it. I've looked, and there might be a way of hard resetting, but that's not made obvious either in anything that I've found on the net. Normally you can find something, how to reset something, but this doesn't look as though it has got a reset. And probably to the problem, but I expect if you sent it away to Samsung, to their workshop in Copenhagen, they'd say, okay, yes, that will cost you 1,000 kroner, and it's just the press of a button for them and 5-minute job. Then you've got all the hassle of packing it and getting it there and back as well. And Adrian, hot toddy sounds as though that's what you need, and you'll sleep well tonight, then maybe. Okay, my opinion first, from a very soggy, miserable Denmark, a lack of hell, and didn't really get daylight today either. So it's depression weather, and we deserve nice and happy. Sleep on okay. Okay. I'm back to you.
Okay, you and you. 0 for Sydney. Yeah, thanks for that, Fraser, and thanks for joining in with the net again this evening. A nice net. We've had 13 now on the net, and obviously Jim on the YouTube channel, and any others that Nick might tell us about in a couple of minutes. Over to you there, Keith, and presumably after you're over and after Nick has wrapped it up, you'll be sending a picture as well, as you indefinitely do. GM4JK in the group, M0AUG. M0AUG, the group GM4JK, is fine there, Beth. And yes, well, I do have a picture lined up. It's a bit of a test one today. I'll do some experiments with a Jim on Sunday to his 52. And between the two, we're getting lots of breakups from his transmission and from my transmission. So I chose a picture which is pretty black and white on the left, and then a bit of colour on the right-hand side. Understandably, it'll be of our pets. And cats and Christmas trees, the only thing I will say is put your least expensive baubles at the bottom, and you'll be all right, as long as they can get one horse and chase around the room. They're usually quite happy. We've 3 cats up here, 2 dogs, and of course we've got a 1-year-old little one as well, the dog Teddy. So it'll be interesting for him this year. Be the first time he was in 3. We did have a large one up last year. We just had a smaller one up. Okay, thanks for the dynamic duo. Yes, that's a good name for the Penrith. And I must add, Bob, you're doing very well there at 1648. On your current projected score of, I think you said 20 a day, you should be hitting well over 1,700 by the time we talk to you next week. So you go for it there. Okay, back to you there, Jeff. And good evening to Jim on YouTube as well. I trust you got some decent sleep last night. He knows what I'm talking about. M0AUG in the group from GM4JKZ. M4JKZ in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be taking precautions with the new puppy, and probably putting a plastic sheet on the floor where the tree's going to go. You know what I mean. Right, and thanks for joining with that this evening. We look forward to your putting up at the end with Jeff as well. Over to you there, Nick, for your final, please. G4IWO in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff, and very, very interesting net this evening. Lots of things popped up in the discussion. I wanted, before I forget, to mention we had a lovely email from Bob McCready from TX Factor today, who was thanking us for the invitation to speak and wanted to pass on his congratulations to us for creating a unique amateur radio club. So thank you very much to Bob for those words of encouragement about what we're doing. And of course, Karen, who is the editor of Amateur Radio Newsline in North America, has joined the club as a full member. She insisted she wanted to become a paying member of the club, has paid her subs, and became our 70th member during the week. So we're obviously doing something right when we keep getting the people that come to speak at the club to join us when they discover it, which is great. And just a couple of things. I think John's gone now, but he did mention the latest edition of Ragcom. And two things really stood out for me in that edition. One was the article that he was referring to about a double ZEP antenna, which is very, very interesting. If anyone wants a copy of that article, drop me an email and I'll make a copy available for you. But it was an interesting article and not a new antenna in any sense. I don't think anything is much nowadays. They're all variations of other designs, but it's certainly interesting and sparked my interest. And the other article that I found interesting in Ragcom this time was an article by Steve Nichols, G0KYA, about where we're at in the cycle 25 and the debate about whether we're at the peak of solar cycle 25 or not. And he was talking about predictions that people were making for this solar cycle. And he quoted, and I thought this was a lovely quote, a statement made by the Nobel Prize-winning nuclear physicist Niels Bohr, who said, "Prediction is very difficult, especially about the future." So all I'd say about that comment is only a physicist could make such a comment. Next week, we've got an open chat meeting at Pennine Ham on Zoom on Wednesday night, the last one before the new year. Please come along and really, really welcome ideas and suggestions for the club for 2025. That will be all gratefully received. So looking forward to seeing people next week. And as you said, other people have said thank you to Jeff and to Jeff for the work they did tonight, as ever, in keeping the net going. So 73s, everyone, and back to you, Jeff. M0AG in the group, G4IWO.
IWO in the group, M0AG returning. Yeah, thanks, Nick, and thank you for that. And, we look forward to the meeting on Wednesday evening. I'm just making sure I come up on the dashboard, which I have. I don't know what goes the internet fairly this evening, but that's life, isn't it? Just also a reminder that this digital net next Thursday is going to be the last one in the current year. So there's been nothing on the following Thursday, which is December 26th and Boxing Day. So the next one after next week will be the 2nd of January. So hope to see as many of you as possible for next Thursday, and hope we can get as good a net going next time as we did this evening. Thank you for everybody for your support, and we do look to enjoy working with you in this little group. Surprising what comes out, isn't it? So I'll now pass it over to Keith first of all, I think, followed by Jeff for the usual tail end photograph.